Welcome to this edition of the Dad Jokes Explained episode. My name is Graeme Klass, and I'm the producer of the Daily Dad Jokes podcast. Each week, we examine a set of dad jokes and explain them what makes them so funny. Our aim is to arm you with information on delivering your own dad jokes to your friends and family, so you can further spread the laughs and groans. Let's get to it.
A man walks into a pet store and asks for a dozen bees. The clerk carefully counts 13 bees out onto the counter. "That's one too many," says the customer. The clerk replies, "It's a freebie."
The humour in this joke hinges on a clever play on words involving freebie. The clerk gives the customer an extra bee, making it 13 instead of 12. When questioned, he calls the extra one a freebie, which sounds like free bee, implying no charge for that additional insect.
A stock market crash is worse than a divorce. You lose half your money, but your wife is still there.
This joke plays on the double meaning of losing half your money. In a divorce, you often split assets with your spouse, losing half but still having them around. The humour comes from contrasting this with a stock market crash, where you also lose financially but without any relational benefit. It highlights an ironic twist by suggesting that in one scenario, you're stuck with something or someone you'd rather not have after the loss.
What do you call a cult that is hard to get into? Difficult.
This joke plays on the double meaning of difficult. When asked about a cult that's hard to join, one might expect an elaborate name or description. Instead, it uses difficult as both an adjective and a pun for the answer. The humour lies in its simplicity and subversion of expectations by providing a literal response.
I asked to switch seats on the plane because I was sitting next to a crying baby. Apparently, that's not allowed if the baby is yours.
This joke relies on the unexpected twist that the crying baby belongs to the speaker. Initially, it seems like a straightforward request for comfort during a flight, but humour arises from realising it's their own child causing distress. The punchline subverts expectations by highlighting parental responsibility in an amusing way. It cleverly contrasts typical passenger complaints with personal accountability as a parent.
If a king sleeps on a king mattress and a queen sleeps on a queen mattress, what does a prince sleep on? An air mattress.
This joke cleverly uses a pun involving air and air. While kings and queens have mattresses named after them, the prince humorously sleeps on an air mattress, playing on the homophone for air. The humour comes from expecting another type of bed, but instead receiving a wordplay that ties to royal lineage.
Do you know why you should never shout into a colander? Because you'll strain your voice.
This joke hinges on a pun involving the word strain. A colander is used to strain liquids from solids, like pasta. By shouting into it, you would metaphorically strain your voice, playing on the dual meaning of physically straining and using a kitchen tool. The humour arises from combining culinary terminology with vocal exertion in an unexpected way.
Bruce Lee was fast, but he had an even faster brother. Immediate Lee.
This joke relies on a play with the name Lee, connecting Bruce Lee to a fictional brother named Immediate Lee. The humour comes from the pun, as immediately suggests speed and quickness, which ties into Bruce Lee's reputation for being fast. By creating an imaginary sibling whose name is a homophone for immediately, it cleverly combines wordplay with cultural reference. This unexpected twist generates amusement by blending language tricks and famous personalities in martial arts history.
My boss is threatening to fire the employee who has the worst posture. I have a hunch it might be me.
This joke hinges on a pun with the phrase, "I have a hunch." While it suggests suspicion about being fired, It's also a play on words referring to having poor posture, like hunched shoulders. The humour arises from this dual meaning that merges workplace anxiety with physical appearance in an unexpected twist.
Someone broke in my house last night and stole some eggs and left a pot of warm water. Cops think it might be poachers.
This joke uses a pun on the word poachers, which has dual meanings. In cooking, poaching involves gently boiling eggs in water, while in crime terms, poachers illegally take wildlife. The humour comes from imagining burglars as culinary enthusiasts who prepared eggs instead of stealing valuables. This unexpected twist combines criminal activity with kitchen terminology for an amusing effect.
I put laxatives in my alphabet soup. I call it let her rip.
This joke hinges on a pun with let her rip, which sounds like let her rip. The phrase typically implies letting something go or happen freely, often used humorously in contexts involving speed or motion. By adding laxatives to alphabet soup, it creates the literal scenario of letters from the soup and an implied gastrointestinal urgency, rip. The humour arises from this unexpected combination of language play and bodily function references.
My horse's mental health declined after he lost his home. He is unstable.
This joke hinges on a pun with unstable. While unstable refers to mental health, it also relates to horses being without a stable. The humour derives from this dual meaning, cleverly linking equine living conditions and emotional well-being through language play.
I went to the doctor because I broke my arm in 6 places. He told me I should stop going to those places.
This joke plays on the dual meaning of places. Initially, it refers to physical locations where an arm might break. The punchline humorously suggests avoiding those spots, as if they were destinations causing harm, rather than understanding places as parts of the arm itself.
What do you call the equivalent of shower thoughts, but when using the toilet? A stream of consciousness.
This joke cleverly plays on the phrase stream of consciousness, which refers to a continuous flow of thoughts. It humorously ties this concept to using the toilet by invoking stream as both a metaphor for thought flow and a literal reference to urination. The dual meaning creates an amusing connection between mental processes and bathroom activities.
Why does you two keep getting free legal services? Because lawyers love working pro bono.
This joke plays on the term pro bono, which means free legal work, and Bono, U2's lead singer. The humour arises from connecting a common legal phrase with the celebrity's name. It cleverly suggests lawyers are eager to help U2 because of their admiration for Bono. This unexpected twist combines language play with pop culture references for comedic effect.
My older brother gave me a pork shoulder he wasn't going to eat. It was a hand-me-down.
This joke cleverly plays on the phrase hand-me-down, which refers to items passed from one person to another, usually within a family. By substituting ham for hand, it creates a pun that ties directly into the context of receiving pork shoulder. The humour arises from this unexpected wordplay, blending culinary terms with familial traditions in an amusing twist.
What do you call coin-sized hailstones? Climate change.
This joke plays on the word change, which refers to both small coins and alterations in weather patterns. Coin-sized hailstones are humorously labelled as climate change by linking their size to currency, creating a pun. The unexpected connection between monetary terminology and environmental issues generates amusement through clever language play.
Why should you never buy illegally harvested honey from an undercover officer? Because it could be a sting operation.
This joke cleverly uses sting operation, a term for undercover police activities, and relates it to bees, which sting. The humour arises from the double entendre of sting as both law enforcement jargon and bee behaviour. By connecting illegal honey sales with an officer's potential involvement, it creates a pun that ties together crime-fighting tactics and apicultural terms in an unexpected way.
Why do astronauts use Linux? Because they can't open Windows in space.
This joke cleverly plays on the dual meaning of Windows, referring to both Microsoft's operating system and actual windows in spacecraft. In space, opening a physical window would be disastrous due to the vacuum environment. The humour arises from this literal impossibility being contrasted with software choices for astronauts. This unexpected connection between technology, terminology, and outer space conditions generates amusement through clever wordplay.
Who is the highest ranking officer at a rock concert? General admission.
This joke cleverly uses a play on words with general admission, which refers to unreserved seating or standing areas at events. The humour arises from equating this ticket type with a military rank, creating an amusing twist by imagining it as the highest ranking officer present. By blending concert terminology and military hierarchy, it generates laughter through unexpected language juxtaposition.
Why did the crab cross the road? He didn't. He used the sidewalk.
The joke subverts the classic "why did the chicken cross the road?" setup by introducing a crab. Crabs are known for their sideways walking, so instead of crossing directly, it humorously suggests they use sidewalks. The punchline relies on this unexpected twist that plays with crustacean movement habits and typical pedestrian behaviour.
I tried to child-proof my house, but the kids keep getting back in.
This joke plays on the concept of child-proofing, typically aimed at preventing children from accessing dangerous items. The humour arises by subverting this intention, suggesting that child-proofing inadvertently keeps kids out entirely. It cleverly twists expectations with an exaggerated interpretation of safety measures, turning into a barrier for children themselves.
What did the fish say when the bird swooped down? Duck.
The humour in this joke comes from the word duck, which serves as both a noun for a waterfowl and an imperative verb, meaning to lower one's head quickly. When the fish sees the bird, it warns itself by shouting "duck," suggesting evasive action, while also referencing another type of bird. This clever play on words creates an amusing twist between animal names and actions, generating laughter through unexpected linguistic connections. And that wraps up another episode of Daily Dad Jokes Explained. May these jokes inspire your own groan-worthy moments. This episode is produced by Klassic Studios. See the show notes page for sources and credits. Check out our other podcasts in our network at klassicstudios.com.